assignments and look there for characteristics of life. This is the document that you're looking for at the top. That's what it looks like when you get there. You get there, get started. You have 15 minutes to get it completed. Go. You what? Well, go to a window or just dream you're there, one or the other. Sam? Yes. Joseph? Yeah. Carter's on here. Christina? Yeah. Genevieve or Gigi? Thank you. Cooper Gorman? No. James Kaptanek? Thank you. Lily? Here. Christina Lundquist? Here. Amelia Mack? Right there. Morgan Mail, she's in here. Gio in here. Anastasios. Faith. Matthew. Elena. Alana. Which one is it? Alana, thank you. Jillian. Lauren. Thank you. Jocelyn. Emily Citran. Girl. Garrison Soul. There he is. And Amanda Wolf. She is not here today. Okay. So. You have about 12 minutes to be done with and about characteristics of life. If you can't remember, go back to the topic that's in the unit 1. There was a PowerPoint there that might help you there that we did that talked about characteristics of life. That might help you get this done faster if you look at it. Gosh, I knew I touched it too quick. We will be submitting, so put all of your answers right on the document, please. We'll be submitting this after we look at it together. I'll see in just a minute. Got about 5 or so minutes? Yes, sir. I did? Which one? Wait a minute, A and B? These two are different. Let's talk about that. This class, right? Just a second. And yeah, I just did there too. Okay. All right, thank you. Couple minutes here. Is there anyone not done now? Anybody not? Okay, continue there, continue. You got a minute or two. Pardon? One is asking about the textbook, the other is asking how we developed in the class. If you'd like. Okay, how about now? Is everybody done? Anyone not done? Beautiful. All right, let's look at this together and grade it as you go, and we'll submit it as soon as we're done. It said here the first thing, look outside, close your hour, look at, close your eyes, etc. Open them. We want 5 different things that you see. People that you might have seen, there are separate things, etc. You may have seen a tree, a bush, grass, etc. Or even the desks or, whatever, chalkboard, grease board, whatever you want to call it. You put those things in and you wrote living or non-living. And then it says underneath that little chart where you wrote that, it says, if you classified some things as non-living, explain which criteria didn't they meet in the space below. You got a little bit of the space. So you have a criteria, and if you don't remember, you need to remember for tomorrow's test. There's a PowerPoint that says, what are the things that are characteristics of life? So those that are there, you use them, and if they pass all of them, we say yes. What if they're missing one? No. All right, good. Let's look at 2. It says here, how many criteria does a living thing have to meet to be classified as living? And your answer that you just said was, you have to meet how many of them? All. If you're deficient in any, then it doesn't work, and it's not living. It might have some things that make it look like it's alive, but it is not. Okay, let's go down to the next page here. You're an astrobiologist, a biologist who studies other planets for signs of life. You discovered a unique substance which is made of 4 metals organized into a specific repeatable pattern. When exposed to electromagnetic radiation, this substance becomes bigger and can produce multiple copies of itself. If it is poked with a stick, it moves away from the stick. If its substance is kept in a dish for a while, rust accumulates on the dish. So let's see here. Classify the substance as living or non-living, and what criteria allows you to do it. I'd like to hear your answers, if you don't mind. What do you got? Yes, ma'am. Go ahead. A little louder. Yeah. No cells, no life. No reproduction of itself? No. Does it handle energy and provide, in other words, all those lists? You just missed one and you're not there. Are you with me there? It has a few things about it that seem like, well, gee, you could almost call that life from another planet, but not so. Let's go to 4, shall we? Says here, look up viruses in your textbook. You could use the index if you like. Write a short summary of what they are and what they do. Somebody tell me just one thing about what they are. Don't all jump at once. Do we know what they're made of? Anybody? Come on, certainly you had a moment or two to look this up. What do you think? We'll wait for you. Yeah. Protein. What else is it made of? Yeah. Again? Nucleic acid, that would be a DNA or RNA. Good. What do they do? Those are the 2 things made of. There's no more. There's no, it's not made of cells. Itself is not a cell. They make copies of them. Can they do that outside of the host? No. Okay, good. So it basically does nothing but reproduce itself inside a cell that's a host. That's it. It's a protein, and the nucleic acid doesn't do any more than reproduce. Okay? Everyone? Inside a host. Question? Is it alive? What do you think? Living or non-living? What do you say about viruses? Non-living. They cannot, they're not made of cells. They cannot do the things that cells do. They flunk several others, but the one most important thing they flunk is that they can't reproduce on their own. So that's it for him. Good. B says, based on the criteria of your textbook, viruses living or non-living. I wouldn't guess they're that different. Are they any different or no? From what you read? Anybody? Did it say any different? It shouldn't have, but that's there to be left. So whatever you had for that one will be sufficient for me. And it asks about a criteria that's different. I don't think you'll get a different one from there. Let's go on to the next one. Or that is it, isn't it? So this is worth, what is this worth? Let's see here, we want this out. This is worth 10. Unless you missed one of them, you got 10. So right now, would you please submit? And you know how to do that now. My gracious, we've been doing it every day in class now. So here's what I want from you. Attach the document in the space that's the box. Tell me what your number correct out of 10 is. And that's all. Then submit. I'm going to give you like 2 or 3 minutes. You can just let that run. And then we'll go to the next thing. So as soon as yours submits, you're going to go back to assignments. And this is document. It will say on it controls and variables, but it will say The Simpsons. Do you all remember The Simpsons? I never watched it very much, but it says The Simpsons controls and variables. They're going to go to that document next. So once you get it started, just let it sit there and turn circles. Go to this one and start answering the questions on this. Wow, just got about everybody on that throw. A few still left to get this submitted. Just let it roll. Go to the next one that says The Simpsons. And I already lost it. Where did it go? There we go. The Simpsons, controls and variables. Yes, sir.
None of that.
You bet. Take that with you. And so you're a little refreshed on this. Look up here at the board with me for a second. The independent variable, if you're conducting an experiment, it says it's the one you manipulate, the one you change. So you want to expose something, well, gee, how well does the tree grow in different salt concentrations? Well, the thing that you manipulate or change, what you think might cause a change, that's the independent variable. How tall the tree got when I measure it, now the number of leaves that I might have, that's the dependent variable. And that says it's the outcome. It's the thing you're looking at. You didn't know before you started. So the thing you do to it is the independent variable. What you get as an outcome is the dependent variable. See how you do with Simpsons here. See what that does for you, which is what? Did you guys hear me over here what I said? Yes? Okay. Get Mr. Simpson's there done as soon as you can. Yeah. Yes, sir. Take the pass with. How many are not done? Raise your hand, not doners. Okay, keep going. There's 20 questions, right, on this one? Is that right? Okay, keep going. Sure. Who is not finished now? Not finished. Okay, give you a few more minutes. How many are not finished now? Anyone not finished? Hey, let's look at this together. And with this, here's the goal. You kind of reviewed the first week and a half or so of what we did, talking about living things. What's life? When does life start? When does life end? Life. Okay, that was this first one here that we just did, characteristics of life. The next one we're going to look at is a piece and a part of what we looked at for experimental design. If we're going to conduct an experiment, let's see, that starts with an observation. Next comes, starts with an H, hypothesis. I have an if-then statement that's a hypothesis, and then I write the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What's that called? Procedure. In it, I need to include a control group and a test group. I need to also say, all right, well, what data am I going to collect? What numbers am I going to get? Sort of thing. Are y'all hearing this here? So then, all right, after that, I do what is called a graph, table, whatever, constructed for my numbers. And lastly, I have a conclusion. So we're going to zero in on the variables that you would use to report data. Well, you would need an independent variable and you would need a dependent variable. The dependent one is your result, and the independent one is what you're going to do to the plant, to the person, to whatever. In the other cases, they're green slime. What are you going to do to it? Though that is your independent variable. So let's see what we got. I'll read and let's see what makes sense to you. It says Smithers thinks that a special juice will increase the productivity of workers. He creates 2 groups of 50 workers each and assigns each group the same task. In this case, they're supposed to staple a set of papers. Group A is given the special juice to drink while they work. B is not given the special juice. After an hour, Smithers counts how many stacks of papers each group has made. Group A, the one with the juice, okay, made 1,587 stacks. Group B made 2,113 stacks. So who is the control group, guys? Is it A or B? B is a control group. B is the one that I do everything that the other group had. But wait a second, that A group got something more. What'd they get? What'd they get? They got the juice, okay? But was believed by Smithers that this might increase production for some reason. All right, so the independent variable is what here? What are we doing to these people? What are we going to give them? Juice. So that would mean the independent variable would be group A having the juice. So the juice is that independent variable. The dependent variable, what we're looking at is stacks of paper that get stapled, because we're looking there, what's the outcome? What do we get? Well, we're, far more in B group, far less than A group. Are we doing okay? I mean, did you catch those things so far? All right. What should Smithers conclude? Is he going to say that A group did better than B? No, he can't say that. There's quite a few in B more than A. So he's going to say, well, B did good. Well, maybe that juice I gave them was liquor. And now they're all, they're all drunk and they can't staple paper anymore. Okay? Or something else, the juice didn't cut it. Or how about it was a high sugar thing, and for 20 minutes they worked pretty good, maybe even well enough to beat the other. But then they had the sugar. Y'all hear that? Maybe those are some answers to what may have gone wrong. All right, how about this? Number 5, how could this experiment be improved? Did he do things quite well, a little well? Did he give everybody the same amount of juice? Could he have made the juice cut down in half, add water to it, dilute it? Something like that. Could that have helped C possibly something more? So long as you have an answer there that seems reasonable to you, I'll go with that. Let's see. And 6, it says, what's the initial? Wait a minute. Does that go with that one or not? You guys, is that with the first story? That's with the second story, is it not? Okay, tell me with your raised hand. With the first one with Smithers, how many of you got all 5 right? Raise your hand. All 5. This is not an upraised hand. This is an upraised hand. All right, good. All right, let's look at the next one. Homer. Notice it as his shower is covered with a green slime. His friend Barney tells him that the coconut juice will get rid of the green slime. Homer decides to check this out by spraying half the shower with coconut juice, and he sprays the other half of the shower with water. After 3 days of treatment, there's no change in the appearance of the green slime on any side of the shower, or either side, as he puts it. So here's the question: what's the initial observation by the year? What he observed first? What was the first observation? Yeah. Showers covered with green slime. Good. Number 7. Who is the control group? The side of the shower that got the coconut juice or the side that got water? Who's control? Can't hear you. Side that got water. Very good. Who is the independent variable? What's the thing we did to the slime to see if we got an answer? What did we do to it? We put what on it? We put coconut juice. That's the thing that's going to try. That's the thing that we're going to move or get things done with. What about the dependent variable? Yeah, anybody? Dependent variable is a little weak here as far as I'm concerned. He's looking for it to be gone. Isn't that right? That's the outcome he's looking for. That's my dependent variable. It says here, so I look at it again just to be sure. It says the outcome. What's the effect? Well, the effect was no effect. It didn't do a dad blame thing, did it? So water or the coconut juice, but we were testing the coconut. So let's go back. So for this one, dependent variable, he was testing to see what was the shower getting rid of slime. All right, now the question: what should Homer conclude? Folks, this is your test tomorrow. If you don't help me, we can't get anywhere. What's that? Doesn't do squat. Very good. That's what we'll write for that one. All right, let's go to the next one. Bart believes that mice exposed to microwaves will become extra strong. Maybe he's been reading too much Radioactive Man. He decides to perform this experiment by placing 10 mice in a microwave for 10 seconds. He compared these 10 mice to another 10 mice that had not been exposed. His test consisted of a heavy block of wood that blocked the mouse's food. He found that 8 of the 10 of the microwave mice were able to push the block away, and 7 of 10 of the non-microwave mice are able to do the same. Is there a control group here? Speak. Is there a control group? Yeah, what is it? The not microwaved mice. Very good. All right, let's try this here. All right, the independent variable. So he's trying to see if he radiates them, if it makes them stronger. So the independent variable here is what? The thing I did to see what the cause is. So what would that be? Yeah, the microwaved mice. Good. 13. What's a dependent variable? Yes. Yeah, how well do they push, and the number of mice able to push that block of wood out of the way. So that's basically what is dependent variable. We're looking at the number of them that could do that. What should Bart conclude? Now, be real here. He had 10 mice that he irradiated, 10 mice that he didn't. Yeah, he had 8. Basically, he found that 8 of the 10 were able to push the block out of the way, only 7. Is microwaving something we should think about doing for living things to become stronger? I don't think so either. One of the things that you know, I hope you don't, I hope you know this. Unfortunately, I know this from awful circumstances. I lived in apartments in the summertime at Taylor at the end of my sophomore year, I think. Did summer school. And there was a cat that kept running around the apartments that no one knew or who belonged to. Some guy put a cat in the microwave, and what happened? Turned it on. He blew up. I mean, stomach blew up and everything on the inside blew all over everything. Almost tore the door off, breaking the microwave. He didn't like the cat. And, you know, I'm like, you idiot. I mean, and I'm talking when this thing blew up, I mean, insides were all over the kitchen. I mean, it was nuts. Okay, good. Let's go back to the thing here. Bart shouldn't conclude that this is a good thing to do. How could Bart's experiment be improved, though? Could we improve it?
He should test the same 10 mice that like he's gonna put in the microwave beforehand. Like it's not like there's stronger mice like out of the other 10.
Very good. Do a test subject again with the other. That's not bad. Any other ideas?
Longer time in the microwave.
Longer time what?
In the microwave.
Maybe so. Good, yes. Say again?
I thought he was disorganized because he didn't say group A.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, he didn't. He was just like, and it sounds like he could even mix them up, you know, for that matter. I don't know what his character is like, but that seems likely to me. Anything else for that one? How many got all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 right? Raise your hand. Okay, good. Let's look at the next one. Krusty. Krusty was told that a certain itching powder was the newest big thing on the market. And I remember he's a clown, okay? It even claims that to cause 50% longer lasting itches. Interested in his product, he buys the itching powder and compares it to his usual product, I assume itching product. One test subject, A, is sprinkled with the original itching powder, and another test subject, B, how many tests is he doing here? 2 people, okay? So sprinkled with an experimental itching powder. Subject A reported having itches for 30 minutes, B was 45 minutes. Well, we got a few holes in this one, but let's see, what's the control group? This one's kind of tough.
Well, this one we figured was a prank because we thought itching powder was like stop itching.
Yeah.
But this one we figured
Is
someone
itching.
might have done it as a
You want to
prank
cause,
to a
he's a clown. He wants to do things funny to people, so.
With friends like this, who needs enemies? This is just that's nasty, isn't it? That's just
Yeah.
absolutely nasty. Who would do something like that? Horrible.
I know someone that used to coach here, in fact, who did it to one of his players.
Oh, gosh.
Itching powder, put it in there.
Hey, can I borrow him just for 1 minute?
Me? Yeah, go ahead.
Carlos was about the camp population. Influenced by the dog population. Wouldn't the dog population be you're altering the dogs? I say it's the dog. Nancy says the other way around. So the influencer is the dog. Dogs.
Yeah, I think so too.
They got it the other way around.
Yeah, I think
Maybe
that's
what we'll
twisted,
that
yeah.
that might be pushing it.
Yeah. All right, while my friend is still here, let's see here. Is there a control group here? Yeah, I would kind of agree to per a certain point, but I mean, maybe these persons itch all the time anyway. Maybe, but you know, it seems to me like, you know, you're doing the same thing, just a little more with one than another, okay? So
By the way,
I would take that either way, yeah.
a name like Krusty. There, you guys can read it.
Good. How about independent variable? What's that? Which one? The new one or the old one? The new one. Yeah, that's what I'd say. Dependent variable, hard again. What are we looking for? Itching. Yeah, we want to have a long itching time. I'd say something of that nature. Explain whether the data supports the advertisement's claims about its product. Does it?
Yeah.
But let's think this word, sample size. Did he do this to enough people to say, yeah, I think so? I don't think so either. I'd say a sample size is dubious at best. I think having just 2 people tested is not enough. You'd need a lot more before you could make a claim like that. Yes, sir. Control group, I said it's kind of dubious, but I'd say the old itching powder would be. Yeah. All right, let's try the last one here, see how we do. Lisa is working on a science project. Her task is to answer the question, how do you say that? Raguti, which is commercial hair product. Is it really, or is that just a joke?
Well, that's what it develops.
Oh, okay. Which commercial for hair product affect the speed of hair growth her family is willing to volunteer. Do we have a procedure? Is there a procedure for this experiment she's going to do? Does it say how she's going to test this to see if her hair grows longer? No, there's no procedure. We have sort of a hypothesis. I don't see an if-then. I don't see something that's even like an if-then. Says here in the space below, design an experiment. So how about it? What would we do? We'd have somebody that uses Raguti, and we have some other people that use something else. Or maybe they just use soap, or maybe they use nothing. Just wash their hair with water. Something that you can compare to, that you can say, all right, here's what happens if you don't use this product. So then that would make Raguti the independent variable, and whether the hair got longer or not, grew longer than average, you'd have to have somebody that you got to compare to whose hair would grow, are you with me, with or without? And then you might want to even switch sides and have those people try the product and the other do. See what happens at that point. That might help. So that would be sort of my design, but it would be if I give Raguti to people to wash their hair will get longer. There's a hypothesis. I set the procedure. I say, all right, I'm counting people whose hair got longer than normal for that person. Or I might just take a person and say, how fast is their hair growing first? And then give them Raguti to try and see if it does it. Any one of those I think would probably be good. Do you have one that's different you'd like me to hear? All right, good. All right, so independent and dependent variable. This is worth 20. Here's what you need to do. You are in right here. And so what I need you to do is attach the document, and in the space below, tell me how many are correct out of, what is it, 20? Yeah, 20. Do that, get the submission started, and then I'm going to tell you to do this. So don't look down just yet. Look at me. Right here, look at me, folks. You see this document? It says Model 1 experimental design. That's where you're going next. Are you with me here? Get the thing submitted, let it spin and turn on its own. Go here. You all there online heard all that, yes? You guys online? Yes. Okay, thank you.
Wait, what did you say right at the end?
For the little girl,
Yeah.
whatever name, what's her name? What I said was you need to set up an experiment. You could have, here's your hypothesis. If I give people the Raguti or whatever it was, their hair will grow faster. And so then you say, let's take people, here's a procedure, take people, measure the length of their hair every day with the normal product they use, and then introduce the Raguti or whatever that is to them and see if it does indeed grow longer faster. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that would be, you'd have your hypothesis, you have your procedure, and you're counting people and how long their hair was.
All right.
With me there?
Yeah.
Does that
Thanks.
help?
Yeah.
All right.
Did you sorry, also did you say that we needed to start in anything else, like start a new assignment yet?
I did, and this is the one you want to start on right here. It's called Model 1 Experimental Design.
Okay.
I'll hold it there so you can find it.
Yeah, I found it. Thank you.
Start that one right now, and then right here at the end, I'll be able to tell you what specifically, if there's anything you need to, but these are the 3 major skills you got to have and understand for the test. Soon as you've got yours submitted, just let it submit by itself and go find this document, Model 1 Experimental Design. That's what you're after. Yeah. Say again? I missed that question. I apologize. This one, Model 1. Experimental. How far, isn't current census? Model 1. Model 1. You're about to answer the question and figure out what's going on with this real type experiment. Doing good on turning that in. Only a few still outstanding. How many are not done with model one? Raise your hand, not done. Okay, see if in the next few minutes you can finish. And really all I want you to finish is this first one. If you just the first page, you can look at the second, but if the first page is done, how many are done with the first page? Let's ask that. Okay. All right, cool. Let's look at that one. Excellent. Thank you. I'm sorry I wasn't after that. You'll need to finish it, but let's just talk about one in the time we have remaining and then tell you a few more things to do. So to begin with, the plant that they're using does pretty well without fertilizer, but what to do with fertilizer? How many plants did they use? 3. Let's talk about sample size again. Is 3 plants enough to answer this question sufficiently enough that you'd be satisfied to buy it? 3 plants, not 30, not 10, not 100, 3. What do you think? Is 3 a good sample size? All kinds of things could happen to those plants that you could not control. One may even die with something there because you didn't know there was only 3. Might have had something genetically wrong with it. So that's something we need to consider. I don't think it asks of that, but or it doesn't. No. All right, let's ask the first question here. It says, from the experiment above, what is the independent variable? What thing did you do to these plants? What did you do to them? Added what? Fertilizer. So that's your independent. And then it says here from the experiment above, what's the dependent variable? In other words, what was the outcome that you were looking at? What was the effect of this fertilizer on the plant? Oh, the plant did what? What happened here? So, okay. So it grew faster and bigger. Good. Conclusions can with more fertilizer taller, isn't that correct? Yes? Okay, good. What further experiments can be developed using this data as a guide? Well, certainly we could probably use more plants. That would be a more dependable answer to get. We could probably create more solutions. We only have 3 that we looked at. The highest one was the one that got the highest height. Is that right as far as growth is concerned? Or is it? Let's see, am I reading this right? The first plant got 0, went 10. Yeah, I got it right. So then 10 milliliters for that one, and it grew twice as much. And 3, it grew 4 times as much as the first. Am I reading that correctly? Okay. So then we could do the fertilizer again. We could try it on different plants. Use this one, but this other plant make a difference in fertilizer or not. There's a whole bunch of things you could do from this point further. Now, let's see what we have here. What are you going to put along this chart here? This graph that we've got. Let's see. I just need to put, where do we put this information? 10 milliliters, 20 milliliters, and 0. Where does that go, on the here or on the vertical? Bottom. Very good. So this that I am doing to it, and with the fertilizer, et cetera, that we're doing, we're adding 20, 10, and 0. That's what we do. That's what the independent variable is. Independent variables go here. Dependent variables go up the vertical or the y-axis. Is that okay? Is that good? So all you got to do is kind of even this out. If you ever get this, you want to fill this, and you don't go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, and 10, because you're going to run out of 40. Are you with me there? So you might take every 2 or 3 or something and make a mark on it. And then on the left-hand side, what did it go, 40? Was that what it did? Right? 40? Is that what it did, you guys? It was the highest one. So you might take this out to 50 out here just to see up here. In other words, go up to 50 here and make this what number? 0 for both axes. You with me here? Yay? All right. Well done. Now, let's talk for a few minutes about tomorrow. Okay? 45 questions, the last 5 of which ask, I set up a little situation and I. 45? That bad? I understand, how many? That's it, 40.
Like 45.
45, a lot of questions.
I'm not
I
saying
think
in
it's
general.
nice.
I'm not saying in general.
Well, see, I like it to be somewhere 50 or over. So as far as I'm concerned, you missed the mark. Because then when you miss one question, how many percentage points is that? Two. Y'all hear me? Each question's worth 2. So you can get 5 wrong and still have what? 90%. Still have an A minus. Y'all hear
Depends
me?
on how long each question is. Like
Some are
the
longer
math.
than others. Some are multiple choice. Some
45.
are matching. There's a big matching section.
Pretty short.
Yes, the part I was just about to tell you about, that said, sentence, or 2 lines maybe, says the situation, just like you did right now. And it asked, which is the dependent variable, which is the independent variable. Dependent, independent. With the end. And then it says, write down which is each. Okay, you did that just now. So, that's the last 6 questions or 5 questions, something like that. Then we have life questions, and then we have a fill in, just one word or a phrase, the things that you've been learning. And that I have a word bank, so you don't have to come out of it out of the blue. There's word bank, but then I also did this. I don't know if you guys are accustomed to this. My word bank has A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, A, E, B, C. Y'all see what I'm doing there?
Yeah.
So for this, when you see when it has this, or even one, I think I've got all the way, this. To get a right answer, you have to mark in each of those 3, if you mean that answer. If you wanted that answer right there, you'd have to put AC. You hear what I'm saying there? Okay, so that's in the matching section. And this is also that we can just run it through Grade Master, come back and say, here you are. That's a good idea. Okay? And the best part is, for me, I don't know how it is for you, but I remember taking tests in high school and in college. We take the test, and it might be 3 weeks, some as late as 4 weeks, before we ever saw it again. Oh, I don't even remember what I thought when I wrote that. So for me, I want the test back in your hands ASAP. And right afterwards, gee, I can wait till Monday, and we can start something else. But I don't want to. I want to do it that same period if it's possible. So that's my goal. I mean, and I want that all, we might have some days where you take that at the end of the block on one day and then get it back at the beginning of the block next. But my hope is the next time I can give it to you right now. So that's my goal. Okay. Now, you want to ask me some questions about this? They're about, I would look through the topic section, I would look through the PowerPoint, the life, I would look through, cell theory, that was another thing we did. Didn't hear anybody say that in this material here. Cell theory, what's it say? All living things are made of cells. All pre-existing cells, or cells come from pre-existing cells, okay? And then the smallest living thing, living whatever, the cell is the smallest. So those 3 things, that's something you'll need to know. I think that's it. I believe that's it. Oh, a little bit of chemistry is in there. We had that little bit of chemistry we talked about. Atoms, electrons, yes. That's fine. Now, what do you need to know from me? Anything? It is not. It is not.
Do you practice problem of the chemistry?
Oh, here, let me look. Oh, wait a minute, we gotta clean. No is the answer to that question. We need to clean the room. I want you to notice the last period, a young lady folded these very nice. But you don't have to, okay? I'll start back here again. And then over all.
I don't know, all I know is that he's.
Anybody sitting here today? Here? Hey, you got it. Guys, this one somebody said, Mr. Ellis. Yeah.
So I'm gonna be.
You, at the beginning of class, are gonna email me, and I'm gonna send you back that.
You'll send one.
And then when you're done, you're gonna send it back with the answers on,
Okay.
and then I will grade it. Somebody sat here? You sat here? Yep, we had one here, I remember. Where'd that do? Bring the rags up when you're done. There's 2 rags right here, right now. Anybody need them? Y'all look like you're trying to get out the door. I mean, is that, but the bell didn't ring yet.
As fast as humanly possible, I want to be gone.
Watch this. Watch. So, we're gonna start from here. You watching?
There it goes.
7 seconds.
I know.
There you go.
Miss Ellis. So should I take the test even though I this was like my first?
I'm gonna say no. Did you take anything?
Yeah, so from advanced, we did the one test over the video.
I'll put
Just
a
put those
grade
kids.
like that.
Okay.
Is
Cause I
that
think,
okay?
I got 100 on the one in there, so. Okay, so thank you.
You betcha.
Brady Swanson, please stop by the front office. Brady Swanson, Olivia Larson, and Sienna Larson, please stop by the front office.
God bless.